Hey everybody, we picked up this Ninja Foodi XL oven on Amazon during a sale and decided to give it a shot. We've had the benefit of having it for about a month and made several recipes for it, so we can get into the unboxing, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to cover it all. Let's get started. And we're really looking at an oven, trays, and documentation. No surprise there. Inside comes loaded with your pre-assortment of metal trays, baskets, and crumb catcher on the bottom. Opening up a cardboard box that comes with the unit reveals 2 roasting catch pans and a roasting tray as well. And it's coated with a black coating. I'll tell you right now, that coating isn't Teflon, as I have learned, and we'll see later in the video. When something carbonizes on there, it is not coming off easily. I'll peruse the user's guide to avoid burning down the house. There's also a quick start cheat sheet that explains the functionality of the buttons up front, as well as a small booklet that has 15 recipes. My wife had also ordered a 100 recipe cookbook, especially for this oven. We'll be trying out several of those recipes as well. A warning states to stick all the things in the oven and run it at 450 for 20 minutes to remove residues. By residues, they mean chemicals from China. I think I'm going to wash everything myself, including the inside of the oven, and then I'll run it at 450 for 20 minutes. Everything has been washed and placed back in. So this will be that first cleaning event. I apply power. I set the function up to air roast. Right there. Set the time down to 20 minutes. I'm going to set the temperature up to 450. Now I'm going to hit start. And it's going to go into preheat first. As we can see, the preheat light is flashing. As this thing turns on, there have been some complaints about how loud this thing is. This thing is not loud at all. Some people compared it to a hairdryer. I'm not even hearing that either. If you've ever heard of one of those noise machines for babies, that's what it sounds like. That's about as loud as it is. That's how I could best describe it. It's definitely not intrusive or anything like that. I'll speed this up. You'll note obviously the timer does not move during the preheat cycle. We'll wait for it to hit 450 to get a notification. And with that sound, it's counting down, and now things are moving ahead. And things were just getting underway. We were starting to complain about how things were really starting to stink. And then all at once, the oven just cut out, and it required some quick troubleshooting to determine that it wasn't the oven's fault, when in fact I had plugged it into a surge protector, and it turned out that the surge protector was actually kicking because this thing tried it twice, same issue. I don't believe it was the oven, though. So take note, if you're not going to plug this directly into a wall, you're going to use a surge protector. Make sure you're going to use one that's going to support the amount of current that this thing is going to draw. Even after wiping down the inside and washing the associated parts, I'm telling you right now, open up windows and doors before you run this for the first time. It smelled absolutely horrible, burning off whatever was used to fabricate this thing in the factory. Halfway through that first run, I switched to the infrared camera to get a good idea about how much heat is leaking out around the sides of the unit, the back of the unit, see what's going on as far as how far away it should be from the walls, if it's going to cause any damage or whatnot, and really how much heat just leaks out. Honestly, I have to say I was pleasantly surprised how well insulated this oven actually is, given how much heat is produced on the inside as compared to the outside. This oven does not have loud notifications on it. That's about it. So if you're not within earshot, you're not going to know when preheat's done or when it finishes. We're going to conduct our first test now, and we're choosing it from the book, and we've chosen this particular one because we happen to have all the ingredients for this on hand. Instructions in the book are going to tell you what type of tray as well as what level to put it in on. We're just going to get everything started here in accordance with what the book says. And we reach the end of our 20-minute cooking time. We'll get this over to the counter and have a look. Yeah, chicken fajitas, it came out really good, but this isn't the challenge I really wanted. This was just the first recipe. Let's move on to the next thing. We picked up an entire turkey breast. We could see here 8.79 pounds, and we're going to cook an entire turkey breast like it's Thanksgiving. This is fully defrosted. We're going to get it into the pan. We might come really close on height. I think we're going to be okay. So we're going to start our seasoning now. And we're not doing anything crazy. This is just cracked pepper and then some garlic powder all around. Then we got some paprika and then splash with a little olive oil. We're going to be setting up the oven now on air roast at 325 degrees and 2 hours. Bringing the tray all the way down, obviously, to fit this turkey. We're going to let it preheat for a few minutes. And there's a moment of contemplation because this thing cleared by 0.5 centimeter. You see that? So we got lucky. So I put it all the way in. We're going to close this oven. We're going to get started. Things are looking real good. We're going to take it out so we can take a temperature reading. Right where we want to be. Let's bring it over to the counter. I'm going to loosely tent it with tin foil for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It continues to cook outside the oven. Now we'll take the tin foil off. We'll get a final temperature reading. Very good. So now we'll slice it up. And yeah, this is like Thanksgiving turkey in a couple hours. This came out really nice, better than expected. I'm very happy with the result. So definitely turkey for the win in this oven. Very happy. Let's move on to the next one. This is going to be the last one out of the book. Honey garlic glazed pork tenderloin with roasted vegetables. For this I have about a 4-pound pork loin. In the pan, I dropped some cracked pepper on top of it. Then drizzled the sauce from the recipe on top of it. Here's the other half of the recipe being prepared now. This one calls out 2 levels in 2 specific locations. Hit the 2-level button. After the preheat, we'll throw it right in. There are different cooking types for both portions, so I ran a separate timer. That looks good out of the oven. Let's cut it open and see how it turned out.
Oh my god.
I think this meal's another winner in this oven. Little seasoning and we're ready to go. But let's move on to something that's not in the recipe book for our next test. We'll do a little experimentation. Next test is going to be ribeyes, and we're going completely off script. With that in mind, I'm actually going to use a Montreal steak marinade to do this. And this is about a 30-minute marinade. So initially, I'm setting up this oven for broil. Time of about 10 minutes. And this is because I'm right in front of it and I expect there to be changes anyway. Approaching the end now of that 10-minute mark. And I realize as I continue, these probably should have been higher in the broiler. So I'm going to raise it up higher. Put it back in. And I'll evaluate over the next 10 minutes again. Broiling higher up in the oven turned out to be the better way to go. I'm going to flip them over now. And I'll take a quick temperature because we're experimenting. Looking at 135. And I like to switch over to air fry now We're at about 440 degrees, 450, just to see if we get like a crust on the outside of it. We'll need a few more minutes. I'll let it get a little crustier, a little hotter inside, and then we'll bring it over to the table. The ribeyes came out really good, though I'll admit I still have to master my technique. This was the first time attempting to try ribeyes in the oven, but definitely a win. After a couple months of use, we started to notice that the inside material of the oven started to come off, and there were rust spots. We could see here a close-up of that heat-resistant material removed, and there's rust right here. On the other side, several areas like pot marks, and it's really hard to keep the inside of the oven clean. We try not to use any abrasives or anything like that, but still we could see this, and when we called them, they did immediately send us a replacement oven. And here we have, as you look at the box, a Foodi XL oven replacement base, and this is different from the original oven for one simple reason, and I'll show you why. You get into the box, there's no books, no documentations, no instructions, no extras. You do, as one would expect, receive the oven. And as I unpack the oven, I noticed something odd, and it wasn't the fact that there were no internals of the oven, that being the major difference between the first and second oven. It's this label right here, the start-stop label with all of the names of the buttons on the label instead of the unit. I looked at this with curiosity. I didn't know, are the names of the buttons still molded into the plastic on the unit? If I take this sticker off, because this is like, it's not even straight. It looks really cheap and tacky. I'm wondering if there's like an international model now, so they have stickers for multiple languages or something. I just got no idea here. What didn't occur to me as I start unpacking the oven was, what if the labels are still under the sticker? Why did they add the sticker? But more on that later. I'm just going to go and make sure the oven is empty and do an inspection of the unit, make sure everything looks okay. This oven looks good, looks like the last oven, and we'll hope it works. The last oven they let me keep, but if you want to go and get all the trays for the oven to make the last oven populated like this oven, you end up spending about $120 worth of trays from the website to do so. Yeah, but I could just not let go of this sticker. We're going to have to take a look at this. So I took a risk and pulled the sticker, and sure enough, the exact labels that were on the old oven were under the sticker. So that was good, but it also begs a question. If these labels were under the sticker, why did they put this label on the oven? And I guess we're going to find out in time. This oven was also made to Chinese standards of exactness, but the inner seals were flush, so none of the heat was leaking out of the front. Top quality. Several months later, we can now see what that label was for. There must have been a complaint about the labels rubbing away. It doesn't adhere to the surface. These obviously are not touched in the middle. The labels are not buttons themselves. And over here, the power label is completely gone from the unit. And that's why they put the stickers there. Inside, though, I'm happy to report after hundreds of uses, the coating did not flake off anymore. We could see that the coating is completely intact. There's no rust or anything like that. And this is what the inside of the oven looks like after, you know, months of use. It's kind of difficult to keep clean. There's lots of crevices and whatnot. We'll take a look at the other side. The other side also completely intact. But you should watch out in using abrasives. This is not metal. This is in fact a coating. You can use like steel wool or sandpaper or whatnot to clean this oven. You're going to run into problems. Well, that wraps up my video on the Foodi XL Pro Air Oven. I hope you found it enjoyable, entertaining, and helpful. Hit that like button down below. Helps me out a lot when you do. And hit that subscribe button for more videos like this when they come out. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?